should set up infrastructure for the next pandemic as climate change causes more encroachment into the wilderness, and as animals continue to pass these diseases onto humans, there will be another one down the line. So the slippery slope argument is purely about pharmaceutical profits. Think about how myopic and how sick in the head you have to be to think that that is the biggest issue here. No. This is a trend in the correct direction as more pandemics come around.
Well, and I will go further and say, forget pandemics. I hope the slope is incredibly slippery. In fact, I hope it's, an elevator heading right down to the bottom of the slope because there is no reason why for a whole host of vaccinations and, frankly, other drugs that we should not be investing billions of dollars into the development of these things and not use them for where they're needed around the world. We should no longer be sinking money into the development of drugs and of technologies and whatnot and allowing them to be gatekept by private entities that get this money. I'm sorry. It's we should not be doing it. So Bloomberg. I hope the slope is super, super slippery.
Bloomberg will do you one better. Remove IP for all medicine.
There you go. All right.
Can I just say one thing on the TRIPS agreement? That was in the 90s. So this regime we have of IP, just insane IP protections is recent, and we can go back to prior to.
Yeah, of course. And, but here we're at. And at least they were honest enough to almost sort of lay it out very clearly. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking to Heather Parton. Just a couple of words from our sponsors. I've talked about this story many times. So let me just start off by saying, hello, Mom. I know you're hearing this. I know you may have heard this story before, and I'm sorry. But your kids lied to you. How did we lie to you? Well, years ago, 2 years ago, I think you'll remember, we started making sure that Freshly was available to you. Freshly, of course, is a chef-made, nutrient-packed meals that are delicious and delivered right to your door. As you know, Ma, there's no cooking required. So my sisters and I, we wanted to help my mom out so she didn't have to do so much cooking. We sent her Freshly. We were a little nervous that she wouldn't accept it from us, that we were paying for this. And so we told her that they were advertising on my show and that they had given me a lifetime free supply. And I had asked them to send it to you, Mom. My mother listens to the show. She watches the show.
Yes.
And
Sam's mom.
And so we sort of fibbed. And all those times where you would say to me, thank you so much. Thank them for sending it. The food is delicious, particularly the peppercorn steak. I know that's your favorite. And then just completely by freak, total chance, Freshly approached us through the media buyers that we have, the media broker, and said they want to advertise on the show. And I was like, oh, great. And then I, not very smartly, told this story and assumed that you wouldn't be necessarily listening on that day, and you were, and so there it is. But the bottom line is, now I have an opportunity, I have a great story to lead into this, Mom, and so thank you, and it was all worth it, and let's let bygones be bygones. Freshly.com allows you to choose over 30 meals, like my mother's favorite steak peppercorn, or sausage baked penne, or their chicken pesto bowl. And it can fit your lifestyle with a variety of plans and meals to pick from that work just for your needs. And for our listeners, they can try Freshly for just $6.16 per meal. Your meals are ready to heat and enjoy in just 3 minutes. Folks, check it out. Right now, Freshly's offering our listeners $40 off your first 2 orders when you go to freshly.com/majority. Stop stressing about dinner. Go to freshly.com/majority for $40 off your first 2 orders. That's freshly.com/majority for $40 off your first 2 orders. And we got new copy for the Hello Tushy.
Yeah.
And so it's sometimes they get a little carried away with the.
Are you going to read it?
No, with the butt references and stuff like that. I'm not. I'm just going to tell you. I'll just tell you the story of during COVID. Kyle tells me, he's like, we got a bidet. It's changed my whole perspective on life. And I was like, I can't make that kind of investment. Hello Tushy shows up with their with the 2.0 Hello Tushy. It is a bidet attachment that you put onto your existing toilet. They now have the brand new 3.0. This is a modern bidet attachment. It is super easy to install. Install is not even the right word. It's attach. All you got to be able to do is if you know how to change your toilet seat and also turn a wrench or a screw, you're set. And the beauty of the Hello Tushy 3.0, it doesn't just clean your butt like a normal bidet. It also cleans itself with what they call the Smart Spray automatic nozzle. It attaches to your existing toilet. There is no electricity needed. There is no extra plumbing needed. You cut your toilet paper use by 80%, and you do what makes sense when it comes to cleaning your back end, which is water, not dry paper. Hello Tushy has you covered from head to butt with a 60-day risk-free guarantee, a 12-month warranty, and now you can join millions of happy Hello Tushy customers right now and clean your butt with every flush. Go to hellotushy.com/majority for 10% off plus free shipping. Special offer for Majority Report listeners. Go to hellotushy.com/majority for 10% off. hellotushy.com/majority. And lastly, one of our sponsors today, sunsetlakecbd.com. It has been my main go-to for going to sleep in a natural way. I no longer need those prescription drugs to get to sleep at night. I use the tincture, and it has been really effective for me. I also use the salve with arnica and CBD it's ostensibly for sore muscles. I use it for like dry skin and eczema, but your mileage may vary. Matt, who was a skeptic when it came to smoking CBD, he tried Sunset Lake's CBDs. His smalls are his favorite. He is a convert. Of course, you mix it in with the now legal cannabis in this state. Is that right, Matt?
Yeah, I got some new lifter smalls now, actually, that I was going to mix it.
And they also have great gummies that people love. They have CBD infused fudge, CBD infused coffee, which is a fantastic weekend brew for me. I sometimes will have a pre-roll. All great products. They're a great company. They're mostly employee owned, $15 minimum wage. They 100% organic. They don't use, they are pesticide free. They're using regenerative farming practices from the University of Vermont. Check it out. SunsetLakeCBD.com. SunsetLakesCBD.com. You can find the URL in our podcast description and our YouTube description. And if you use the coupon code LEFTISBEST, they're fans of the show. They're great guys. Left is best. You get 20% off. Check it out now. Left is best. SunsetLakeCBD.com. All right. It's Casual Friday, and it's always a treat to welcome to the program the great Heather Parton, or you may know her as Digby. Welcome to the program. Heather, you there?
Just about connected.
Okay, here she is. She's coming.
What a beautiful tapestry.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. Hi, Heather.
Hi. Sorry about that.
No problem. Okay, so Heather, a lot of things to talk about this week. On one hand, we got the IP stuff, and which shows at least in certain narrow circumstances, Biden can be pushed. Also, we have on the Joe Manchin, Mitch McConnell, Joe Biden front things happening in that regard where Manchin's saying, we're not doing this without the Republicans, and the Republicans are saying, we're not doing this. And Joe Biden sort of going back and forth with pay-fors, and Janet Yellen sort of talking about like a deficit obsession, but it's not quite clear. But let's start with the Republicans, because this thing with Lynn Cheney is sort of fascinating. There has been a coalescing around Donald Trump as the central reason for the Republican Party at this point. And I'm not being, this is not hyperbole. I mean, let's play this clip of Lindsey Graham. Or actually, let's start with this clip of Chuck Hagel, and then we can. Is it Hagel? Who was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's play this clip of Chuck Hagel. This is the former defense secretary. This is like the imaginary Republican that Joe Manchin seems to think exists or pretends exists, and maybe some in the Beltway media still think exists. But he doesn't. This is we are looking at a museum piece in Chuck Hagel. Here it is.
I think the state of the GOP today is divided. It's polarized. It's going to continue to be divided and polarized going into the election next year. I mean, you can't have a defeated president who, by the way, during his 4 years, the Republicans lost both the House and the Senate. He was defeated for re-election, and have that candidate and that former president claim that he's still leader of the party, and the party must be loyal to him. The party is always bigger than an individual. I don't care who the president is. And Mr. Trump's not accepting that. And that is going to continue to divide the party and divide the party in a very corrosive way, because it is about truth. It is about being honest. It is about the core values of our country, of what a party should represent.
Don't need to hear any more when he goes into that pablum, because the bottom line is, I don't know it's never been the case I guess there was a certain fealty to Reagan on some level from the party, but I've never seen this dynamic. I mean, you never talked about this being, Obama's party. You never heard anybody come out and saying, like, I'm going to, with fealty to Obama. Just even the conversation existing itself is bizarre. But Hagel's absolutely wrong. This guy's a museum piece. Let's talk to a sitting Republican senator. Right now, his name is Lindsey Graham. You remember Lindsey Graham, the one who 5 years ago was like, Donald Trump is a scumbag, and
he's a racist, and he will destroy the Republican Party. Over and over, that's what he said.
Yeah, he's giving out my cell phone number. Here's
real quick.
Just say to my Republican colleagues, can we move forward without President Trump? The answer is no. I've always liked Liz Cheney, but she's made a determination that the Republican Party can't grow with President Trump. I've determined we can't grow without him. All of these people, like Herschel Walker and all the people you just named, are attracted to the Trump Republican Party. Economic populism, America First agenda. If you don't get that as a Republican, you're making the biggest mistake in the history of the Republican Party. The reason our party...
Heather, and this is playing out in the Republican House right now.
Oh, it is. And I hate to say it, but I don't think the Republican Party can grow with Trumpism. At least God help us. I hope it can't. But I totally think and agree with Lindsey Graham that the party itself has made that decision. It's done. There's no war. There's no civil war. I mean, there's Liz Cheney and a couple of, holdouts, and very few. I mean, think about how few there are. I mean, this is like, what have you got? Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, Gonzalez in Ohio. There's a handful. And Mitt Romney in the Senate, basically. And even he now is suddenly kind of, moving in the other direction. So I just don't think that there is a war. I think it's done. I think that the Trumpism won. I don't know. It's a very interesting thing. Chris Hayes was talking about this week, that it's interesting that even as Trump has faded from the national consciousness in terms of media, right?